Hello, and welcome to the Power of Integrity podcast, where leadership aligns with principles. I couldn't be more delighted to have our guest on than I am today, Kayla Freeman of, my gosh, Humanity HR Consulting. What a name. That's not just a mouthful. It's certainly a handful of a lot of things going on in your firm, and I really want to hear about it. Kayla, welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. It's a great name. It's perfect. It encompasses what we do for sure. So
Yeah, well, since our audience may not everyone might know of you and the firm, would you give us kind of a thumbnail sketch of your personal professional journey and what you're doing today in your firm?
yeah. I started my career in HR over half a lifetime ago. So I've been doing it forever, and people really are my passion. And I've learned more recently that's not everybody. There's some people that don't like humans, but I do. I love people, and couldn't have picked a better profession for me. But I spent a long time, like most HR professionals, in house. Worked for small to large organizations, was with Caesars Entertainment for quite a while, in-house HR. And in 2016, I started Humanity HR. And it was just by chance. California has a lot of complex labor laws. And so I had a lot of friends who own businesses and just were always asking for free advice. And I eventually said, I'm going to charge for this. So that's how it started, and continues to have that component and element of giving to this day. The name came from the fact that being in-house HR for small to medium businesses, often a party of one, I would see a lack of humanity in
Hmm.
corporations, and wanted to do HR different. I didn't want to be the HR person that everybody was scared to talk to, right? When the door closes with HR, there seems to be a fear factor, and I wanted to change that narrative. So yeah, we work with clients. I now have a whole team. We've grown significantly and have a team all over the country. So we're not just in Southern California. We obviously have a lot of clients in California, but we actually have global clients as well. So we work a lot with franchisees. Whether restaurants or otherwise, to make sure their structure of HR is across the board. And we work a lot with global companies as they start to hire in the US because they aren't familiar with our laws, our benefits, all of those types of things. Where my passion really lies, though, is in creating a positive workplace. We're not just here like some consultants to check a compliance box. We're here to come in, partner with our clients. Most of our clients are 4 or 5 years or more with us, and we really are their HR. They might not need to hire full-time HR, so they hire us as a team to be that for them. So yeah, that's what we do.
Very, very cool and interesting. I didn't realize that your breadth and scope went beyond the borders of the
Yeah.
states.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're well versed in our team. We're all certified in HR, so we're able to help in all the different states with all the different laws, and even globally. So yeah.
Fantastic. And the word humanity and integrity, geez, I don't think you can deal with humanity without having integrity. So that's a perfect point for us to pivot into the topic for the day.
Mhm.
When you think about the word integrity, what does that mean to you?
It's really doing the right thing, even when no one's looking. It is one of our values as a company. And for me, it's also about transparency. When it comes to our service to our clients, we're not perfect. We don't do everything perfect every day. And for us, it's owning that. And if we do make a mistake, it's identifying it and bringing it forward into light, before our clients even know that there might be a mistake, but just owning it and saying, this is what we're going to do to fix it. So it really is, a lot of times in HR, people just want to meet the law. And we're like, let's take it a step forward and do the right thing, even if the law says we don't have to. So,
Yeah. Besides it being intrinsic, which I find this characteristic of integrity is for many people, are there any examples of models in your life that helped you further refine, further embrace, further engage the whole notion of integrity? And then how did that play out as time went on for you in your professional and personal life?
Yeah, I was born with it. I grew up in the Midwest, and a lot of people will refer to me as Iowa nice, because I in the Midwest, it is just bred in you. You help others, you give to others. You're not just always looking out for you. Not to say I haven't found people that are also like that in California, but it tends to just be how were raised in the Midwest. And so my mom was a huge impact in that. I always knew that if I did something wrong and I told the truth about it, I was going to get in a lot less trouble than if I lied about it at a very young age. So I think that really shaped how I operate. Yeah.
Interesting that you bring up the Midwest. My brother, in his infinite way of thinking about life, said that, of course, folks in the Midwest, where it's cold, have to get along. They're inside, they're close to each other. They can't possibly be screwing each other.
Yeah.
There's not enough space. There's not enough sunshine. They got to be indoors and
Yeah.
they're amongst each other, so they better treat each other kindly.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. That's definitely true.
Right? There's no
Yeah.
place to escape.
Very
You're not
cool.
going out there in the cold as frequently, and you're in together more often.
Yeah. Yeah. For
Interesting.
sure.
Iowa nice. What your experience at Caesars Entertainment, is there anything that comes up for you there, both
Yeah.
in terms of how it reinforced and helped you? I mean, I had a wonderful mentor. He used to say in life, there's two kinds of people, those that teach you what to do and those that teach you what not to do. Either way, you got to learn the lesson.
Yeah, yeah. I had the privilege of being part of, their training groups, and so I would go to different properties all over the country, and I got to be one of the first points of contact to instill that integrity in new hires in big, huge groups, and there was a very deep component to that within Caesars about gaming responsibly, drinking responsibly, being yes, it's entertainment. Yes, that's why people are there, but it was our job to make sure they were doing it responsibly and, helping them get out of situations in that industry that maybe weren't good for them. So I did find it was a company that had a lot of integrity despite what they did and having some people who felt it was negative, right? But
Yes.
at the core of what they were doing, they were wanting to help people who took those behaviors too far. And I found that to be powerful, that I got to train on that. So,
Yes, that is refreshing to hear that. I was curious where you were going to go with that because we didn't have a pre-flight discussion about Caesars and how it would be. And of course, they think about the tobacco and the gaming, the gambling as the sin stocks or the sin companies,
yeah.
and how they're looking to curate an outcome that's not sinful, but actually keep the guardrails on and
Mhm.
keep people down the fairway and not out there in the rough.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely do their best to equip their employees to be able to help and to spot things that are concerning. And I haven't worked for other gaming companies, so I don't know if they do the same. Hopefully they do, but I always respected that for sure.
Yeah, it's fantastic. When you think about integrity, is there a time where your integrity was tested that you can share with our audience?
Yeah, I can. And then so many of the things around integrity did pivot my career. So for a long time, we worked with a tech company. Won't name names. Very large tech company, and we were doing staff augmentation. So we were placing engineers and different team members with this larger organization. And one of the really high level, very talented engineers was rather abusive and harassing to one of my team members. And bringing that forward to the client was difficult, but I had to do it. And when that client said, sorry, but he's too valuable, we're keeping him around, I said, okay, then I can't continue this contract because I'm just really, really adamant that there can't be toxicity and people can't treat my team like that. And so that was huge. It was a really tough decision to make because obviously financially that's scary to do that. But I think in the long term, my team respected it. They know that what I say is true. When I say I have integrity, I'm not just talking, I don't just have lip service. I'm going to stand up for them and do what's right. So yeah, it definitely changed the course of the business and how quickly I could grow. But I'm grateful I did still looking back on it. So
Yes, yes. Well, thank you for that. When you think about it, how does integrity play a role in company branding and, more importantly, thus customer loyalty?
yeah, definitely. Um, I know as a consumer myself, I have to trust the people that are providing service that they're going to get things done correctly. And I think that's where we see the loyalty for sure. Our clients that have been with us for 4 or 5 years, they know that we're gonna do what we say. And I've always held that, even when I was internal. Oftentimes, I would get awards for internal service in HR, and it's because the employees knew that I said I'm going to follow up on this. I was going to do it, and if I couldn't find the answer as quickly, I would follow up and let them know I'm still working on it. And I think that really, at the end of the day, is how you build that trust and that loyalty and that integrity with somebody is by doing what you say you're going to do. So it's what I do. It's what I instill in my team. Like, it's okay if you can't get an answer immediately, but keep that communication open so they know you're working on something.
Yeah, you've pivoted to a topic where I was going to turn next, which is so the outward facing to customer loyalty. How is it that integrity influences your leadership style, which you were kind of getting to there? Maybe you can expand on that a little bit with your own internal employees.
Yeah, I think for me, it's a lot of modeling the behavior and then reinforcing it with the team. So I it all boils down to communication at the end of the day, but having regular meetings, regular check-ins when they're dealing with a client and there's maybe a challenging situation that they're unsure how to take it, instilling that as well. So sometimes we disagree with our clients' decisions, obviously. And our role is to advise, our role is to indicate here's the legal requirement, but here's also the moral and the morale impact that it might make, right, if you aren't ethical in your decision. And so advising the team when they're struggling on how to communicate something like that with a business owner can be tough, right? They're not the owner like I am. And so helping guide them and coach them on how to have those hard conversations sometimes with our clients. So yeah.
Yeah, maybe if you can, kind of think back over time, has your leadership style changed, modified, embraced other portions as it related to integrity and honesty and transparency?
I think it's just increased. I don't think it's necessarily changed. I think I always led with that, but being more visible about it. So when I have to make a decision that maybe could be negative for the business, maybe I do have to let a client go because they're not aligning with our values or what we're doing, or they're not treating their employees well. I'm really transparent about it with the team. Like, I don't sugarcoat why. I'm just like, this is the decision and here's where it's coming from to continue to be able to live our values. And I really am a proponent of that. I make decisions from our values and not just on a whim, but taking that into account and making sure the team knows why. So I'd say it's just I've become more transparent with my team about why I'm making decisions I'm making. So
Yes, when it's a decision that is not simple to make, not easy to make, it's best to be clear and clear up front, huh?
yeah, yeah, and I really value the clients that understand that as well. You know, I've had to help, unfortunately, with several reduction in forces, and the the clients that partner with me on the communication around that, the timing around that, making sure people are taken care of, I always really respect it. It always goes much smoother than the times where it's like, "Oh, we have to do this tomorrow," and we aren't planning it. We're not taking into account the human component of how this is gonna impact people. So,
Yeah, humanity HR embraces the human, huh?
yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, we understand the business impact, and that is another way I feel like we're a little unique is that, we learn the whole business. We're not just looking at the fluffy human component. We're how are your decisions and how are the risks of not making a decision gonna impact your bottom line? And I always try to bring it back to that for business owners because at the end of the day, we're in business to make money. But oftentimes I find that the clients that focus on the human first are actually way more successful because those are the individuals taking care of your customers. So if they're doing things with integrity and the way that you want to lead, it's going to naturally lead to retention of clients and loyalty. So, yeah.
Yeah, you hit on a point, and I brought this up before in one of our or multiple shows. There's a wonderful book called Employees First, and it was
Um,
the CEO of a global organization who argued the point. His thesis was your employees are the most important. If you're going to treat your customers and clients well, it starts with making sure the employees feel that they're getting treated well.
Yeah, they're on the front lines. They're the ones talking to your customers every day. If they're in a place of toxicity because of their environment, it's gonna bleed into the clients. So at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it is.
This may sound like a question we touched on before, but I think it can come from a different angle or perspective. Have you been in a situation? I know where we talked about where your integrity was challenged, but maybe talk about a situation, the same or a different one, where the counterparty lacked integrity and how you watched that evolve or devolve out of. Um,
Yeah, that's a great question. We have a we have had a client who we had to quit because they consistently were taking funds from one part of their business that we were helping run and putting it into another part of their business that led them not to be able to pay their employees consistently, or we were processing payroll and it was constantly this, oh my gosh, are we going to have money for payroll? And knowing what was happening on the back end was really challenging because I wasn't able to be as transparent as I wanted with my team about why this was happening. But I had to make a decision because I saw the writing on the wall that this client wasn't going to make it. Given how they were managing their finances. And that was really tough. It was tough to see them go down that path and not heed warnings. And it was tough to manage the stress of my team through that as they were responsible for paying people and weren't sure they were going to be able to. So yeah, I definitely have seen it erode businesses, erode trust with their other clients or their team members, and it's a hard thing to see for sure.
yeah. And the ultimate story of that organization was,
They lost the entire division that we were helping support and had to completely basically go from hundreds of employees down to like 10 to try to rebuild. And I think they are now. I'm not really still connected with them, but what I see is they are starting to rebuild and just focusing on that other aspect of the business. And so I always wish them well and hope that it was the best thing for them. But it was hard to witness and see for sure.
I'm sure, going through that. But redemption is, we're never too late for redemption. And so
For sure.
when if you lose, don't lose the lesson, is what I try to say.
Yes, yes, that's always how I am too. I'm like, well, I would really love for clients not to have to learn the hard way, but sometimes they just do, and we're there to help sort out the pieces when that happens. With a lot of them. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Course correction often comes with blunt instruments.
Yes, for sure, for sure. I've learned that in life, definitely. So
Oh
yeah.
gosh. Yeah. So, we have a number of younger viewers starting out or earlier in their career. And I'm always curious with those seasoned professionals like yourself, what are some of the things that you think about you've learned that you would say, geez, if I knew them that then, I would have applied them sooner? Are there some inside hints, insights, and tips you would share with our younger audience?
I think one of the main lessons for me has been, don't be afraid to shoot the shot. Don't be afraid to try something new. I think early in my career, I, just sort of went with the flow of whatever, was I felt I was qualified for. And I quickly learned that I had a lot of strengths outside of just HR. And that's, I think, how I ended up being a business owner was being more well-rounded in finance and in, business development and marketing, and trying to learn as much as I could. Um, I think that would be one. The other is always have like an adaptability mindset. I There's a book I read. It's called "Everything Is Figure Outable," and being able to have that frame of mind helps me so much in what I do, but also in how I lead. Because if someone comes to me on my team and they're like, "I don't know how to do this," it's like, we'll figure it out together. It's not a matter of frustration. It's like, this is solvable. Like, we can get a solution here. So yeah, those would be the two things I wish I'd maybe done a little earlier, to um, just strengthen my professional life overall. So I got there, but it was probably a good 10-15 years in. So
Well, I have a saying for that. An overnight success is usually 10 to 15 years.
yeah, there you go.
Right?
Perfect.
Yeah. So you were
Yeah.
modeling it. Well, as we kind of like turn the corner and come to the close, it's been a wonderful conversation. I've been here with Kayla Freeman of Humanity HR Consultant. And Kayla, if folks want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, I mean, our website is humanityhr.com, so pretty easy to remember. You can book a free consultation call right from the website. So we always just like to kind of see what you may need first and see if it's a good fit. And then also we're on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So you can find us there, and anyone can always reach out at info@humanityhr.com if you just have questions. So yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Kayla Freeman, it's been a delight having a conversation with you. I'm so glad you've been on the Power of Integrity podcast, where leadership aligns with principles. You certainly model that. I'm very happy to have this conversation with you. It's been a real delight.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ralph. Appreciate it.
You are most welcome. Take care now, and we'll talk soon.
The information presented in this program is provided for informational purposes only. The information is believed to be reliable, but no guarantee of accuracy is made or implied. Expressions of opinions are as of this date and are subject to change without notice. The information in this material is not intended as tax or legal advice. Please consult a legal or tax professional if investing involves risks, including possible loss of capital. Ralph Adamo is registered with the securities and are offered through Kovac Securities, Inc., member FINRA. SIPC 6451 North Federal Highway, Suite 1201, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33308. Telephone number 954-782-4771. Investment advisory services are offered through Kovac Advisors, Inc. Integrity Wealth Management is not affiliated with Kovac Securities, Inc. or Kovac Advisors, Inc.